All right, guys, now we're going to get into the reaction from the Jets-Giants game.
I'm really him, hold up. Look, walking this like, hey, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey, I'm really
All right,
him.
guys, welcome back to Net Worth with your boy, Justin Pugh. First, I want to give a huge shout out to Athlete Podcast Network and our creative AJ, who did our new intro. We've been working on this for a little while now, trying to figure out something cool to bring to you guys. Obviously, going through the montage in the locker room and the field, going into the locker room with the ATM coming back at you, money coming out, and you guys can check around. There's little nuances there. I'll start dropping some hints of what else we put in there. But shout out to the guys at APN and AJ, our creative, who came up with the design. Unbelievable, super cool. I think it's going to keep adding elements to this podcast, making it better and better. It's been a crazy week yet again. But first, I want to shout out my 52 new subscribers. Thank you guys. Welcome to the NetWorth family. We appreciate it. We're at 283 subscribers. Our goal is to get to 500. I mentioned last week that we were going to be doing some type of giveaway for our subscribers. We are doing that straight off the couch shirt giveaway. I'm going to read off the details below here so I don't mess this up. So like I mentioned, we're doing a 4-shirt giveaway, straight off the couch shirts. You guys will be able to tell us sizes, addresses, all those different things. And I will be announcing the winners on next week's episode. So here's how you can win. I'm choosing one person from each of our social media channels and one of the platforms of the channels. So we have YouTube, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, and we have TikTok. First thing you need to do is you need to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment if you're feeling spicy. Second, follow us on all those social media platforms. The more platforms you follow us on, obviously, the better chances you have to win. So if you follow on all 4, you technically have 4 chances to win. Finally, share the latest social post and tag at NetWorth Show so we can see who shared. Remember, you can do this on every platform. You have 4 chances to win. Bonus, if you rate us 5 stars and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, we will appreciate it. Look forward to giving some shirts away. We will do that next week. All right, so let's jump into the show. What's happening around the league? First up, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers. He recently posted that NFL referees should be full-term employees. I couldn't agree more with you, A-Rod. He does a great job. I know he's on Pat McAfee's show every Tuesday, but this point really hit home for me. Obviously, the last few weeks in the NFL, people have been talking about the officiating. There's been some good calls. There's been some bad calls. Look, I love my refs. Every pregame I go and talk to them because I know how hard of a job it is that they have. Now, as many people know, or maybe you don't know, officials are part-time employees. So typically they're doing something, other than officiating in the offseason, whether that's being a lawyer, a doctor. I remember one guy worked for NASA, all sorts of crazy things. I really think, just like offensive line, a crew needs to gel. If they give these guys full-time jobs, let them work all season long, make sure they're in shape. Everyone talks about Hockley and the guns, but I really think to be a ref in the NFL, you have to be in shape. And allow them to gel for an entire offseason. Think about it too. Every year we come out with new rules. There's new points of emphasis. And to just think that they're going to show up and a few times during OTAs and in training camp and get it down and be perfect is crazy. We need to make our officials full-time. It's a $12 billion revenue business, the NFL. Why aren't we just spending a little bit more to make these refs full-time, make the salaries a little higher? The job literally makes or breaks games that fans are putting all this money into from fantasy and gambling and ticket sales and merchandise. We owe it to the fans. We owe it to the players, guys that are putting everything on the line to get these calls right. Maybe we add in some type of review of some of these as well to help, crucial calls late in games. I don't want to slow the game down too much, but I just think getting our officials full time and making sure we get the most crucial calls right is the most important thing that we can do for this game. Next up, we're going to talk about the 2013 draft class, which your boy was a part of. Now, there was some slander going on the internet this week saying the 2013 draft class was the worst of all time. Look, I'm not going to argue that there's been better draft classes. I don't know every draft class that's come out, but they're trying to say 11 years in, all these guys are still out of the league. Like 11 years playing in the NFL isn't a crazy stat. Guys, the typical career is 3 years, less than 3 years. So the fact that we're 11 years out and they're saying all these guys are out of the league, Eric Fischel, Luke Jokel, Deion Jordan, shout out to my guy Lane Johnson, who's still playing in the league. I'm not even going to talk about all the guys. A lot of great players in my draft class, a lot of guys that contributed to their teams. Like every draft class, there's going to be some guys that had some injuries or just couldn't get right. That's to be expected. But there's a lot of guys that have played some really good football. But shout out to Lane Johnson, myself. Look at who else is in there. We got D-Hop, just had 3 touchdowns. D-Hop doing D-Hop things. He's still killing it. We have Cordero Patterson at the Falcons. He's still playing at a high level. My guy Dave Bakhtiari. So I got a little friendly wager. Let's see who can play the longest, guys, out of those. And tag anybody that I missed below from that 2013 draft class. Obviously, you know, we're getting up there in age right now. They're calling us Unk. They're calling us OG. But shout out to the guys that are still playing. And quit with the blasphemy. 11 years later, you can't really hate on the group. The next one I really have been looking forward to talking about. Stefon Diggs recently just came out and said he feels bad when he messes up your fantasy or your sports bets. And here's the exact quote. But trust me, it ain't because I ain't trying to make that MF hit for y'all. So clearly he knows what he's trying to do. I'm not going to lie. I do feel a little bad when I mess up your parlay or fantasy. Now he used a few other words that I quickly and, as a media person myself now, was able to sandpaper over. But obviously players like Diggs know how this game goes. He knows the ecosystem. It shows how much of a veteran presence he is because he realized the importance of the fans and the role that they play. We realize that if we can win more bets and win more fantasy games for you, you're going to love the players that much more. And that is the most important thing. It's one of the reasons why I started this show. Where he's acknowledging the elephant in the room. Literally, we all know that parlay. We all know spreads. We all know all these things that are making the game so entertaining and people to watch. We shoulder that responsibility. Now, there's a fine line. Fans out there, get mad, tweet about it, text your group chat, curse out the player that maybe dropped the pass or missed a block like I've done plenty of times in my career. We don't need to be going out there and messaging girlfriends, kids, family members, putting racial slurs out there. Like, that's where we have to draw the line. Fans, get it. Be mad. We want you doing all those things. We want you passionate about fantasy football and the parlay. And guys like Diggs get this. Shout out to you, Stefon Diggs, for pointing it out. Guys get scared to talk about it, but it's one of the most important things. It's why our league generates the revenue that it does. Without these things, without the fans getting mad, we don't have it. But fans, we got to draw the line somewhere. Let's make sure we're not going overboard with it. But shout out to you, Stefon Diggs, man. That was cool to see. The next topic we're going to talk about is Myles Garret. Obviously, what he's doing on the football field speaks for itself. Having an MVP type season, which is rare for a defensive player. But in the business of sports, he just became a minority owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And if we rewind to last week, I was giving Caleb Williams, USC quarterback, some slack for wanting ownership in a team that drafts him. Now, there's a big difference here. Myles took a play out of the Larry Fitzgerald playbook, the greatest of all time off the field, getting ownership in the NBA team that he plays in. Obviously, we all saw Larry Fitzgerald got a piece of the Suns back in the day. They recently sold. Larry cashed in. Myles is getting a small percentage. The numbers haven't come out yet. I would be shocked if he got anything over a few percentage points, which is a huge piece. He put money into this, I'm sure, but he's also like a brand ambassador for the team, which is great. In a city like Cleveland that bleeds for their sports teams, to have that crossover is hugely important. I saw it work to perfection with Larry in Arizona. But this is totally unlike what Caleb Williams is asking for. LeBron James didn't get a piece of the Cleveland Cavaliers when he was there and he was playing. I don't see any current players getting a piece of the team. And NBA players are making a whole lot more than some of these defensive linemen. So this was more of a strategic partnership and giving him ownership in the team. And it's not anything like what Caleb Williams was asking. So I think there's two totally different things here. An owner would never give a piece to a player as part of a contract, But if you want to come on and be a brand ambassador and be around the team and support the team, like obviously we've seen Myles Garret at a bunch of different games and events with the Cavaliers. This is a home run. Myles Garret, I love what you're doing. This is awesome. There's more guys that should, take on that opportunity. Now it gets a little tough as the seasons progress, but this is great to see, one of our NFL brothers doing it. All right, up next is another big hot topic, fines in the NFL. Up until this point in the season, there's been $13 million with an M, $million worth of fines. Now, something that people don't know about fines, or they may, is that fines come out and they're given to charity. So at the end of the day, rest assured, the money is going to charities. It is going to a great place, but it's still coming out of the players' pockets. I think there's a lot of ticky-tack calls that are being out there. I'm all for promoting player safety. But the reason we play the game, and I talk about this all the time, is we trade our health for wealth. Guys are still going out there and hitting people. And the most egregious one I saw, and I know J.J. Watt posted this one on his Twitter, was the Jaylen Warren fine. We can drop that clip below. He's coming up to pick up a linebacker that's blitzing. Yes, he does lead with the helmet. What do you want to do when a linebacker's coming 20 miles an hour at you and you have to try to stop him as a smaller running back? They took more than this man's game check for the week. So eventually, where's the give and take? There has to be some kind of middle ground. We can't have guys out here just playing for free. So it's tough to see that. Guys are continuing to learn how to play this game. It's getting more and more, I would say, offensive friendly for sure. Defensive guys, starting with James Harrison back in the day when they first started implementing these fines. I think he got fined millions of dollars. But we have to find some common ground where guys can go back and either appeal, fine, malicious fines where players are going out and they're taking guys' heads off. I get why we're doing that, but just playing the act of football and being out there, $50,000 fines, $48,000 fines, taking a guy's entire game check from him. I think that one is a little bit overdoing it, but everyone's going to hang their hat on the player safety. I get that, but I think we need to dial it back a little bit, NFL. Let's find that common ground. Speaking of common ground, I saw what Jalen Ramsey posted out there, and he was a little pissed that Adam Schefter stole his thunder when he was promoting his comeback and what he wanted to put out there. And I couldn't feel that any more than what I went through the last few weeks. Obviously, I wanted to put out when I was coming back, and some of the media folks beat me to it. You want to respect the team and their timeline and making sure you don't leak anything to the press because strategic advantage or, just not having that information public at the moment. It's tough. I love to see guys go out there and own their narrative, and Jalen Ramsey is one of the best to ever play cornerback in the NFL. I love guys like that being able to control that. And I see both sides of it. Now, this is a question I have for you guys. I mean, tell me what you think. Do you prefer NFL guys going directly to the source, telling you exactly what happened and how it happened? Or do you like getting it a bit quicker where it comes from a guy like Schefter or Garofalo or one of the other, NFL insiders, my guy Jay Glazer? They may not have all the information. It's always coming from a vague sources. Or would you rather it come directly from the players? A little bit of both. Tell me what you guys think. I think a reporter that the Giants have that does a great job of this is Pat Leonard. He talked about my contract and the exact numbers. He gave a shout out to NetWorth, the show that we're on right now. So Pat, we appreciate you going directly to the source, getting your information, spreading it out there. But it's definitely a hot topic. Let me know what you guys think. Next up is a business off the field. This isn't the business of football, but it is in a way. Talking about PopUp Bagels. New York City, they're taking the city by storm. If you've seen TikTok, if you've seen Instagram, you've seen these PopUp Bagels. They give you hot, fresh, ready bagels right out of the oven with a little cream cheese dipping sauce. Now I say cream cheese, I say that lightly. They have pumpkin spice, they have Fruity Pebble. It's almost like the crumble cookie bagel combination that we've all been looking for. JJ Watt, second shout out of the show to you, JJ, off the field, killing it once again. I saw Phelps was investing, Michael Strahan. They just raised $8 million to go and promote this brand. When you think about it, it's like you normally go and get a bagel. It's $2.50. You throw cream cheese on it. You get a Taylor ham, pork roll. I know it's a big debate. Ham and cheese. These guys are like, hey, you can get 3, 6, 12. You got to get cream cheese with it. We don't cut it. We don't scoop it. We don't do gluten-free scoop bagels. Like I saw a video online. So instead of spending $250, all of a sudden you walk out of there and you bought 12 bagels and 3 dipping sauces because you want to try them all, and you spent $25. It's brilliant. PopUp Bagels, you guys are killing it. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to my favorite spot in Hoboken, O-Bagel. They've been providing bagels for the offensive line and some of the coaches and players every Friday. It's been a staple of mine that I've eaten at O-Bagel ever since I got here. There's no affiliation with the show. I just love giving a shout out to my guy, Steven there. That move, if you go to O-Bagel, you have to get the Fresh Prince. It's a Philly cheesesteak bagel. It used to be called the Steven's Duck. It went off the menu for a little bit, but now it's back. It's better than ever. It is my favorite spot in Hoboken. So both places, PopUp Bagel, O-Bagel, you can't go wrong with either one. And we might have to have a bagel off. I might have to go try both of them and give my opinions on them. Both are great. Shout out to you, PopUp Bagel. See you guys doing big things. Proud of all the guys that are invested. I mean, I'm giving shout outs to Strahan, Phelps, and Watt. Obviously, those guys are more guys that are on the Mount Rushmore of what to do off the field, the pool. Shout out to you guys. And some breaking news, and I just popped up. My group text is buzzing. My Giants just traded Leonard Williams. I've been playing against Leo since he was at USC and I was at Syracuse. He's a monster. One of the, I didn't get a chance to know him too well, but he's been a great teammate thus far. Obviously, with the season not going exactly how we wanted to, you knew changes could happen. Our defense is playing at such a high level. That's the business of sports. How crazy it could go from being on top to getting traded. Like that is the craziest thing. And it's going to be tough. Leo's going to have to move across country to Seattle, find a place to live. He already had apartments here. It's definitely tough on him and his family. I want to wish him nothing but the best. He's been a consummate pro since he's been in the league. We've had some battles. That's the business of football, man. It's tough. I know, the defense is going to have to rally with that happening, and good luck to you, Leo. I know the Seahawks well. I know it's a great organization. Look forward to you kicking ass out there, man. All right, we're moving on from what's happening to some shout outs. I want to give a shout out to a couple people that have been in my comments, in the DMs. Thank you guys for following. Thank you guys for sharing. I just wanted to give a shout out to a few. The first one up is Kendall Hansen. You sent a DM to the NetWorth show, Kendall. Being a lifelong New York Giants fan and 30-year sales professional, I am excited for this podcast. Football and business are my 2 favorite subjects. Really looking forward to the breakdown of your contract in next week's show. P.S. Great job at left tackle. Hopefully we get Andrew Thomas back and you can slide in and play guard. Kendall, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate it. It's something that is super impactful in my life, football and business side. We really appreciate that shout out, and hopefully Andrew Thomas is back. We'll see. That one's above my pay grade. Next up, we have a shout out to DO 2017, who left us a review on the Apple Podcasts. They dropped us a 5-star review. They say they never miss an episode. I love to hear it. Thank you. I'm sure DO is your initials, DO. You're the man. Or woman. I'm sorry. I just know 90% of our listeners are men. We did a great job with subscribers this week too. We added 52 subscribers. We transitioned from, I think, 90% not subscribed to now 80. So if we can get that closer to 50-50, I encourage everyone to go out and subscribe. You can get a t-shirt. Next up, we have a shout out to Mike G, who commented on our YouTube page. He said, my nephew sent me a pic of a tweet that the glue guy got the O-line going to steak dinners every Thursday, and it's mandatory. I know you said you were going to do that. If you've been listening to my previous episodes, I know when I first talked about coming back, talked about the importance of O-line dinners. I love the leadership you provide and show these young guys they can be friends and know each other, which was a given. The guys were already friends, but, that doesn't hurt. They said, maybe, would you ever want to be a coach once you're done playing? I know you have some other business opportunities going. Hell no. I will never be a coach. Respect to all my coaches out there. They sleep at the facility. The divorce rate's through the roof. Coaching, I have the utmost respect for those guys. They get all the slack, and they're the ones putting in the late hours. The players have it a lot easier than the coaches. The stress levels I see them all going through is tremendous. I love all the coaches I've had, but I wouldn't want to do that. Unfortunately, through playing, I've been able to set my family up, hopefully off the field. I'm looking forward to getting to that next chapter of being in real estate. Now, the glue guy aspect, I would love to be the glue guy. If the Giants want me to hang around and set up team dinners and be there to be around the guys, I would love that. And I do want to clarify something too with the whole glue guy O-line dinner thing. Like, the Giants did offensive line dinners before I got here, and they will continue to do them after. I just love the O-line dinners as much as anybody. I love talking about them. I love the importance of them. But it wasn't something that I just created out of thin air. Most teams do O-line dinners, quarterback receiver dinners. It's something that a lot of teams do. But just know, guys, I read all the comments. I actually do love responding to them. So we're always going to give shout outs to those that comment. Looking forward to having more Q&A sessions, and maybe we'll add in another segment as we go. But without further ado, we are going to get into the puny Badger of the week. Like I said, when I got to Syracuse, scrawny guy, didn't bench much, but I come back like a honey badger. Never stop working, never stop trying to get after it. And this week, I'm giving a shout out to my former defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, and the Denver Broncos. Obviously, it's been a crazy statistics. When I saw this, I couldn't believe that this was even real. Denver has not won against the Chiefs in 16 straight meetings, 8 years. Peyton Manning was the quarterback the last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs. This is a team that's got beaten up in the media recently. Obviously, I'm not the biggest fan of what Sean Payton said about my guy, Nate Hackett, and the Jets. But with that being said, you never like to see a team and guys get beat on too much. So shout out to the Denver Broncos. Shout out to my guy, Vance Joseph. Love him. Great coach. For them to get the first win against the Chiefs in 8 years, unbelievable. All right, guys. Now we're going to get into the reaction from the Jets-Giants game. I thought I'd be sitting here with a big smile on my face, excited to talk about the win, excited to talk about what's next. Obviously, things didn't go our way. It was crazy. I mean, the injuries in the game from both sides, having Tyrod go down and Tommy DeVito coming in, they had some center injuries as well. Some defensive linemen went down. You hate seeing anyone go down with injuries. Shout out to Al Woods. I saw, I think it was an Achilles injury. It's been a crazy year for injuries. Just a weird game. The weather was crazy. We ran the ball the entire second half. We came down and scored a touchdown. Super proud of the guys for that. We just didn't do enough to win. Obviously, we got to get the first down that last drive, and the game's ours. Our defense played unbelievable. They're playing champion-level defense. Thibodeau had 3 sacks. Dexter Lawrence had the best game for an interior D lineman maybe ever. The back end was incredible. The offense has to do more for us to win games. And that's plain and simple. But I take the approach that you have to face it, good, bad, win, lose. 24-hour rule. We're coming up on that right now as we speak. It's been 24 hours since the game ended. We wash it, win or lose, and move on. We got a big test this weekend coming up, and we're going out to Vegas. We got 3 games on the road. Our season's in the balance. We have to go out there and win a game. Vegas is going through a lot of adversity on their own. They're playing tonight, Monday night. Obviously, I'll have more of a reaction once I see them play. Played them last year when I was with the Cardinals. Obviously, you look across the board. They have some great players. They drafted a high draft pick to play defensive end. They have Max Crosby out there, and shout out to Max Crosby. Just donated, I think, $1 million to Eastern Michigan and they're naming the stadium after him. $1 million to give. You have to go out there and earn $2 million to give that away. So shout out to Max. He's an unbelievable player. I remember when we played them last year, he was all over the field. I was playing left guard and he's over the right tackle, and he'd be ending plays outside of the left tackle, running all around, trying to make plays. We beat them last year. We came back. It was a crazy, crazy game. So I know it's going to be a battle. I know it's going to be a test. Their offense, you have Garoppolo, you have Devontae Adams, could be the best receiver and arguably the best receiver in the game. Jacoby Myers, they added that addition. We got our work cut out for us. It's going to be traveling cross country in a hostile environment. That stadium's crazy. There's going to be a lot of Vegas atmosphere. We have to lock in. We have to go win a game. That's all that matters. Go win the next one. You win and you go 1-0, you move on. And, the season's not going exactly how we planned at all. But the adversity is what shows what teams are made of, and building that foundation as the season progresses of who we want to be and how we want to do it. we've had the last 3 games have all been winnable, and we're 1-2. No one's going to feel bad for us. The Raiders aren't going to feel bad for us. We have to go out there and put a great week of practice in, get back to it, and win a game. That's it. Plain and simple. So obviously we're doing this show every week. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Remember, our goal is 500 subscribers. We're at 283 right now, so hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And tell a friend to tell a friend. Get everyone involved in the NetWorth community. If there's any topics you guys want to cover or want to go through, I sit here every week with Alex from Athlete Podcast Network, and we build out the timeline and the structure of the podcast and what we're going to talk about. Alex is the one helping me answer some questions and get some of these things rolling. It's been great so far. So if you have someone or have any questions, just fire off. Me, Alex, Athlete Podcast Network, we'll hop on and make sure we get those answered in a timely fashion. And it really just means the world that you guys are supporting me. You're liking, you're commenting. Guys joking around, the Pughny Badger of the week, I was getting some jokes about it. People were giving me a hard time, but I love this, man. I love talking about the business of sports. Love giving guys, a shout out for shining what they do off the field and on the field. We're going to continue to do it through the ups and the downs. I appreciate the support. Gotta take my wife to dinner now. Take care. See you next week.
I'm really him. Don't believe me? Come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all on tour. Got demons. Say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him.